Welcome back to The Mission Light, where we explore missionary life, missions, faith-centered stories from around the world. For missionaries who served in Brazil, most of us agree on one thing: Guarana. But what makes this Amazon berry soda so iconic, and why does it spark instant nostalgia? Let's dive in. I just want to tell you a little bit about some of the food that I love in Brazil. One of those things is Guarana. Now, Guarana is a fruit in Brazil, and they use it and they put it into a soft drink. This is Guarana. If you've never tried it, Guarana tastes like a mixture of cream soda and ginger ale, at least to me. Some people say it tastes like a mix of apple, berry, and ginger ale. So it just depends on the person, I guess. But honestly, it's one of those flavors that's totally its own thing. So I've been learning a lot more about Guarana. I knew it was from Brazil. I knew it was a berry, but I didn't know the specifics.
Guarana is a plant from the Amazon and has been consumed in Brazil for hundreds of years. The beans from the Guarana fruit are naturally caffeinated, which makes this natural ingredient a great source of energy. Guarana Antarctica is a soft drink made from this amazing plant. With a sweet and refreshing taste, this is your top pick for an energy boost.
This is actually Guarana Antarctica, so the brand Antarctica. Guarana comes from a bright red berry native to the Amazon rainforest. It's naturally loaded with caffeine, even more than coffee beans, but Guarana soda itself is mild and refreshing. The amount of caffeine is just like any other caffeinated soda pop out there. In Brazil, Guarana isn't just a drink. It's part of the culture. You'll see it everywhere. Family gatherings, church activities, birthday parties. We even had it on our P-Day with our districts. So you'll see it everywhere. So for my 22nd birthday, the members made sure to have Guarana for my birthday party, and that was so much fun. Some of the fun places I got to see Guarana was on the menu at McDonald's. We had a chance to go to a McDonald's, and I was able to order Guarana along with a banana pie. Not apple, banana pie. And it was delicious. I love this drink. So luckily on Amazon I'm able to get some Guarana shipped up to me. I have stopped drinking pop the past couple of years, and so this is going to be a tasty treat. I keep talking about my mission to Brazil, and I just really wanted to have some Guarana. So I have had some Guarana since my mission in the States. There are some churrascarias, the Brazilian restaurants, and so I have actually ordered it at the churrascarias here. It can be expensive. It was cheaper to buy it from Amazon than to get it at the restaurants, but it's so yummy. So I'm going to have some and crack it open. Muito gostoso. Very, very good. So it's mata saudades. It's hard to explain that in English, but from Portuguese, mata saudades would be like when you're really homesick for something is what saudades is, and mata is like to kill it, right, or to get rid of it. So, but get rid of the homesickness for Brazil and Guarana. So if you've ever tried it, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about it. If you haven't tried it, would you try it? You know, are you up to trying new soda pops from fruit in Brazil with Guarana? It does have a natural caffeine. So I will share an experience from my mission as well. We were teaching some different people that were learning about the gospel, and we were teaching about the word of wisdom. And one of them asked, well, okay, it's coffee and tea, but what else, right? And I believe with the word of wisdom, my understanding is even more than just don't drink coffee and tea, right? So the Word of Wisdom does have other things. It talks about just eating healthy and this in the season and all that kind of stuff. But it's also about having control of our body and not losing that control. So once you have any type of an addiction, you're giving up control of your own body. And our Heavenly Father wants more for us. I saw recently some posts about how it's so demanding and, too many rules and strict rules. I don't see them as bad or strict or limiting me, because our Heavenly Father has commandments and rules in order to help protect us. He wants what's best for us. So on my mission, I loved Guarana. I still love it. But I found that every day I would want Guarana. And so me and my companion would stop off at a little store somewhere and get a bottle of Guarana to drink. And after teaching the Word of Wisdom lesson to somebody, I realized that I was having a problem. I was having difficulty. If I didn't have Guarana every day, not jittery, right? But I could tell that my body, I just didn't feel good. I wasn't happy. It made me moody and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's kind of what I realized for me, my body, it was reacting, right? The natural caffeine in Guarana, I had gotten addicted to having Guarana every day of the week. And so I actually purposely stopped drinking Guarana for a little bit, because I realized I didn't want to have to go get a Guarana. So if you struggle with anything like that, when you're drinking something or eating something that you have to have every day, rethink about your diet. Rethink about what it is that is causing you to have that every day, and take back control. And so I know for me, I love food. A couple of years ago, I realized I really had to cut off immediately soda pop, right? The extra sugar, and it really is. It's like drinking sugar. That was hard. I was used to having, soda pop almost every day, and more than a can, right? The bottles, the 16-ounce bottles compared to the 12-ounce, I think they're 12-ounce. Yep, 12-ounce cans of pop. And so that was a really struggle for me. But again, it was something that I was used to. I just did all the time. Well, that's not a good thing either, because I was always wanting to have that. I watch several YouTube channels by LDS creators, and I find it so wonderful to get more inspiring stories, to learn more about the scriptures and the gospel of Jesus Christ. As I was preparing this video about Guarana and the Word of Wisdom experience that I had on my mission to Brazil, one of the YouTube channels that I like to follow is a new channel, Latter-Daily Saints, with Jackson Paul and his brother, sometimes Hayden, and others. And this is one of their episodes they had recently about the Word of Wisdom. Jackson talks about his mission in Portugal and how that Word of Wisdom is more than just not drinking coffee and tea. They actually discussed the Word of Wisdom in a little bit different way than I've ever really thought about it. And I wanted to share that with you. I did receive permission from them via email, so Obrigada. Thank you, Jackson, for that permission. So I hope you enjoy. Make sure to go check out their channel, Latter-Daily Saints, and also Stick of Joseph.
But I want to specifically talk about this coffee and tea thing. It has nothing to do with caffeine specifically, but maybe possibly, and I'll talk about that in just a second here, okay? But it's more than that. We have the Word of Wisdom saying hot drinks are not for the body or the belly, and then Joseph Smith saying that means tea and coffee. That is what that is to be interpreted as.
So in the scriptures, in Doctrine and Covenants, section 89, this is revelation given to Joseph Smith the prophet at Kirtland, Ohio, February 27, 1833. In verse 4, it kind of explains the overall reason that we have the word of wisdom. Behold, verily, thus saith the Lord unto you, in consequence of evils and designs which do and will exist in the hearts of conspiring men in the last days, I have warned you and forewarn you by giving unto you this word of wisdom by revelation.
What is the reason? Why no tea? Why no coffee? Okay. So he's not saying because I don't want my saints drinking caffeine or anything like that. He's saying because of the evil designs that will exist in hearts of conspiring men, I give you this word of wisdom. Now, we see that kind of come to fruition a ton with the tobacco industry and how that's evolved over time, where doctors were being paid to advocate for the use of tobacco in smoking and stuff like that. And then all of these companies that were pushing this false narrative that smoking is good for you, once the government cracked down and made it so they had to tell the people the truth, if you look into it, a lot of these same people that were involved in the tobacco industry then just moved into the food production industry and started promoting cereals and sugar and all this stuff so that we get addicted to food and they can still profit off of us consuming things that are bad for our bodies. Okay? And so with the coffee and tea thing, like, for me, it was manifest the reason for that and how the evil designs of men just want me to be addicted to this substance when I was serving my mission in Portugal. Seldom did I meet anyone that, and if you've been to Portugal, you know that if you're walking down a main street, the shops go basically coffee shop, bakery, haircut place, coffee shop, bakery, haircut place. Like, it just repeats.
Hungary was like that too.
Rarely did we teach someone that when it came to the word of wisdom and we talked about coffee, they were like, "Oof." And I'm like, do you drink coffee regularly? And they're like, I drink like 5 espressos a day. Like, every time I walk past a coffee shop, I pay whatever, €1.50 or €2, and I get an espresso shot of coffee. And I'm like, well, let's talk about it. And they're like, I have been drinking coffee since I was like 10. Like, I don't think that I can function without it. And there was so many people that they had this chokehold around them that they needed this substance to function properly at that point, right? Because their body had become so dependent on it. And if you think about it, the word of wisdom, what is more evil than making you dependent on something to function? Right?
For profit, specifically. For them to benefit from your addiction.
Exactly. They get an endless supply of money when you get hooked on these substances and you say, you adopt the vernacular that you cannot function without XYZ. I mean, when I read the word of wisdom in its context and think about the reason that it's being given, it already includes that for me.
Understanding the spirit of the law, because the law can't include everything. It can't. And so it is our job to understand the spirit of the law. So as times change, as Satan figures out new ways to try to manipulate us, then we're able to take the spirit of the law of the word of wisdom and apply it.
And opened up DNC 89 and we're like, well, when it was given, it was super prophetic. And then we read these verses of, it's because of the evil designs of men that will be in the hearts of conspiring men in the last days. We then went through the tobacco industry and all those lies that unfolded, and then basically just talked about how the end purpose of following the word of wisdom is to shift our leaning and dependence for strength on God. Things instead of turning to, I gotta go get my 42-ounce dirty soda every morning so that I can function.
The word of wisdom is very clear of what it is. It is specifically for the last days.
That in reality, it's just to help us to be more reliant on God and distract us from things that will ultimately drain our bank accounts and in reality our energy and stuff like that.
Thank you so much, Jackson and Hayden, for your wise words and your thoughts on the word of wisdom. I really appreciate you pointing out verse 4 in Doctrine and Covenants, section 89, the conspiring hearts of men. Wow, it is true, and it really is for the last days. So, and as you said, Hayden, the spirit of the law, we can individually apply the word of wisdom to our own lives and make more out of it than just not drinking coffee and tea. So I really do appreciate that. I wanted to share a final point about Guarana. It's a soda pop. It's a treat. It's not something that the word of wisdom is against. In my experience, I had that addiction for a while, and that's something that I needed to take care of on my own. I just want to just share that with all of you, just so you know it's okay to drink Guarana. I do drink it still sparingly, mostly because I can't get it, but also because it's soda pop full of sugar and my experience that I had on my mission. I believe in the word of wisdom. I believe it is revelation from our Heavenly Father through the prophet Joseph Smith. And it just helps me to know how much our Heavenly Father loves us, that He wants to help us be better, take care of our bodies better, and not have to worry about having to have something every single day. I mean, it is a nice treat. It's, it can be fun, but in reality, it's not worth not being able to control my own body. Anyway, that's just a thought that I wanted to share, because it really did make me think as I'm teaching about that word of wisdom that, I was having difficulty, and so to take care of that, I got to the point where I wasn't looking at my watch, let's go get a Guarana, or trying to map out our route to get a Guarana. So that's what I wanted to share. So Guarana, the R is like a D sound when you say it the way it's spelled in Portuguese. So Guarana. Eu gosto Guarana muito. Muitas saudades e mata saudades para tomar pouco de Guarana. So anyway, I hope that's fun for you. I do love Guarana. I love to drink it, and it does get rid of a little bit of the homesickness to be able to taste Guarana, and it brings back a lot of memories of good times on my mission in Brazil. So whether you've served in Brazil or you're just curious about one of the world's most unique sodas, Guarana is worth a try. Let me know in the comments if you've tasted it and if it brings back mission memories for you. Thanks for watching The Mission Light. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share light wherever you go. All right, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to go finish having some Guarana. Ciao, ciao.